stuff or not? What do you mean you don't have it? Freaking deal! Where am I supposed to get it at? Fine. Well, then you do your thing! I heard you have fudge.
What kind do you want?
Yeah. There's no need. Someone else is packing my fudge now.
You're watching Wrangler Dave's Trailer Park. Hey everyone, I'm Wrangler Dave. Welcome to the Trailer Park. Well, guys, as usual, sometimes in podcasts, this kind of thing happens to me and other people. I actually tried to get guests lined up for today's podcast, but got no replies, man. So I guess it's going to be me and whoever from Off the Hook Network decides to show up. So if anyone decides to show up, they can show up. Otherwise, it's just me going to be sitting here flabbing my cheeks, man, by myself. So, there's world famous Jimmy Castle. What's up, man?
What's up, brother?
Nothing much. Also, we might have another guest popping in from what I understand when he gets home. So, how's it going in your neck of the woods, Jim?
It's been going pretty good. Things are moving pretty fast. Things are happening pretty crazy right now for me, I guess. You know, I went from being unhappy to being extremely happy to being okay happy, then to be like, oh wow, shit might happen and get fucked up. But then it all came together, made a little ball, and everything's good again.
Fuck, cool, man. That's always a great thing, man. So, are you on your way to Florida? I take it.
No, I'll be heading out on Sunday to go to California.
Oh, you're coming to my neck of the woods.
Yeah, I'll be in your neck of the woods for sure.
What part?
I'll be in Pleasanton.
Pleasanton, okay.
Yeah, that's south of you. You're up in Sacramento, right?
No, I'm north of Sacramento.
Oh, okay.
Marysville, Yuba City area.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So, like, yeah, if Executioner was on, I'd have him on here, but I don't know if he's going to show up or not.
Yeah, I fly into Oakland on Sunday.
Okay.
I'll be there around 1:00. Go check into my room. I might jump on a BART or a bus or something and go hook up with my aunt and hang out with my aunt.
Okay, cool. So
I might have somebody from Sacramento come down and pick me up and take me up there for the night, maybe.
That would be cool. I mean, I really don't have a place for you to crash at my crib, unfortunately.
No, I got a hotel. It's all paid for.
Oh, cool. So what are you going to be doing?
For VIP, so I get treated VIP.
Oh, you work for VIP, the company?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, what does VIP do?
They do audio and visual.
Okay. You going to be working on a movie or a video?
It's the job I'm going to is a corporate job.
Okay.
And I'm gonna be bringing the lights and the gear that they need to operate their show with, and like I said, it's a corporate event, so
That's cool. Maybe you could talk to them about sponsorship.
well, they have their own podcast show, so
Oh, okay. Well, that would make a lot of sense then.
yeah.
So.
But
yeah.
it's a good thought, I might definitely talk to him about it and see where he's at behind it all, and
Yep. Or maybe kick you a piece of advice on how to land one.
right,
Maybe.
right.
So when's your show coming to the network, man?
My show's on every Wednesday night.
Okay, Wednesday nights, or the night before this show happens. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And what's it called?
Out Loud Podcast.
The Out Loud Podcast. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Lately, we've been doing me and a couple of other members have been doing skits and stuff like that. I'd like to talk about the movies that we're getting ready to invest our time in, and also bring to the network. Next Wednesday, I'm going to be interviewing my cousin who just released his movie called The Meal Ticket. You can find it online. He's done advertisement on Facebook and you can look it up on Google probably and find his podcast. He'll be coming on my show next Wednesday.
Okay, cool. So yeah, man, promote the shit out of all your stuff, man. That's fine.
Yeah.
Get the word out. I don't have a problem with that at all. Like I said, tonight's going to be the shit show. Just talking and shooting the shit with just fellow other members of my network.
Right.
So, guys, this is Jimmy Castle. He's also one of my producers. I actually have 3 producers that I could use when I need to for the network. Jimmy is the secondary. Rob is my primary, and then the owner, Mr. Blackwood himself. Leatherface, who runs the sanitarium here on Off the Hook, guys. Check out his podcast on Monday.
Actually, all 3 of us are
our owners. Yeah, I know. Yeah, but you're also producers.
Right.
Yeah, I forgot all 3 of you owned it. I'm sorry.
No, that's all right.
Yeah.
So how's things been going in your neck of the woods?
Pretty good, man. I thought I was going to run a little bit late, which it's okay. We're a little bit late for me anyway. I had to go. I had to go to Pizza Roundup, which is a pizza joint here locally. Reserve the party room for the 12th of next month because it's my littlest girl's birthday on the 12th of next month. She'll be, I think 7. So, and then I had to run and go order her cake to make sure that gets ready and then pick up birthday gifts. So,
yeah. You got to do that for the little girls, or they're be
mad man. Always.
They'll be mad at daddy. What do you mean?
Yeah. Why do you always get things for my big sister, but nothing for me?
Right.
That type of thing. Oops, right. Maybe dad forgot. No. No. I didn't forget. No. We made sure to go get everything taken care of today. So.
Absolutely.
And it'll be her last birthday in California.
And where are you guys moving to?
We'll be moving to Onalaska, Texas.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm planning on making a move there beginning of next year, sometime between
to the trailer park.
Yeah, March and May. So somewhere in that area.
Yeah.
I got big things in the work, and it's not just going to be a trailer park I'm moving to. I'm buying the motherfucker, so I will own it.
Absolutely.
So yeah, and then I'm going to set up a podcast studio there. And I got to go grab my tour bus out of storage that I own and have it serviced before we take off. Because when I went out there, I noticed somebody swiped the generator off the fucking thing.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh, dude. And the problem is
it happens.
The storage yard it's stored in is actually responsible for it because they didn't provide proper security. So they're going to have to replace what brand is that? It's a Kohler 15,000 watt generator. Not 1,500, 15,000. This generator is actually designed to run all 3 roof air conditioners on the bus, everything electronic inside of it. And in fact, you can plug in a musical, a junction for musical instruments. It's
Right.
actually an entertainer's coach that I own. So it's got 6 monks and a queen in the back. So, which is perfect because I got 4 kids. So I can haul the whole family. And I paid what $430,000 for it in 2007. So it's a 2007 Prevo entertainers coach with 2 slides on it. So, yep,
Cool.
yeah, and I know I go out there regularly, start it up, and I will drive it around for about 30 minutes and go repark it just to keep everything running because they're not designed to sit at
Right.
all.
Right.
So I know one thing I got to do before I take off, since it's been sitting for 3 years and not gone freeway. I'm gonna have to put brand new tires all the way around it.
And what state is it again? I'm sorry.
Uh, I'm in California now. I'm going to be on my way to Texas.
Texas. That's right.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
not too far from here.
yeah. The old bus that I own, a friend of mine's using right now, and it belonged to the Outlaws of country. It was Waylon Jennings, Johnny Cash. Um, let's see, what's the other guy's name? He used to be called the Killer. Well, I actually bought their old tour bus from a tour they had, and inside this bus, they carved in the wood on one section of it all their names. So it's actually autographed.
Nice.
And I haven't touched it. I mean, my friend's got it right now in his storage. And when I bought it, man, I just was looking for a tour bus. I paid like 15,000 for this thing.
Yeah.
And when I got into it, man, I realized what bus it was. Man, I was like, oh my God, man, these are signatures of the Outlaws of country. I'm not using this.
That's nice.
Hell no, I'm keeping this thing. So, yeah, I was going to.
I just got a picture of my grandfather
Oh, wow.
hanging out with John Wayne.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I didn't know that they were good friends. I don't know if
that's
they were
cool.
best friends or if they were just good friends or what, but my grandfather knew him. And
Yep.
I just found out that that story was absolutely true.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
My dad, my adopted father, knew a lot of real famous people too. Mostly athletes though, because my dad owned a car lot.
Yeah.
From my first
I went to
podcast.
school basically. So I lived in the Bay Area.
Yeah,
So I went to school with a lot of athletes, kids, or their like their nieces and nephews and stuff like that. So I knew a lot of athletes. I knew a lot of. I just know a lot of people, man. It's crazy.
yeah. So, what area of the Bay Area? Because my family lived in Vacaville, Fairfield area.
Yeah, I grew up in. So my mom and my aunt were born in San Francisco.
Okay.
They were the first generation born in California,
Okay.
in the United States,
From what country?
from Italy.
Italy. Okay. So you're Italian.
Yes, absolutely.
All right.
They were the first twins in our family born here in the United States, also.
That's awesome.
So my grandfather moved from New York to San Francisco to start a new life, I guess.
Okay.
And my grandfather kind of lived a double life. He had a family in Florida or New York and a family in San Francisco. So it's a long story. I'm not really going to get into it, but anyways. So my mom and my aunt were born in San Francisco in the Mission District, and I was raised in San Jose. I lived in the Mission District as a baby. I remember being in the Mission District as a young kid, probably still in diapers. Could have been like 3, 4, 5 years old. I don't remember. It was so long ago. So I grew up in San Jose. I went to a lot of schools in San Jose. And then as I became a teenager, we moved to Mountain View. So I lived in Mountain View and hung out in Mountain View, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara, San Jose.
Yeah, that's where my mom's from, is that area in Southern Cal. Yep.
Hung out in East Palo Alto. It's funny because as an adult, I never thought I would see the place again in my life.
The Bay Area?
Yeah, well, Mountain View, San Jose, Sunnyvale.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I came back to the Bay, and I lived in Washington for a little while. When I came back to the Bay, I got back into the production industry, and I just paid attention to everything, and I worked real hard, and I earned my way into what I call the VIP section.
Yeah.
And now I do big things.
That's
Since
cool.
COVID hit, though, it put me back to a regular Joe
Everyday
Blow.
Joe job.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the 9 to 5
I
rat
don't have a
race.
problem. I mix in pretty good, but people misunderstand. A lot of people don't understand where some people are.
Yeah.
Because they don't take you serious.
Yeah, exactly.
So when I make somebody take me seriously, I normally have to do something big to make them take me seriously.
Yeah.
And then after I do that, they're like, "Why are you showing off?" You know, people that show off money ain't got money. People that do this don't do. Well, I only do that to certain people.
Yeah.
Because they act like I ain't shit. I ain't never had shit, and I never be shit. And it bugs me.
Yeah, I understand that.
Because even though I'm so high up on the chain in my industry and around my business, I still treat people like human beings.
Yes, exactly. You need to, because
I'm
otherwise,
nobody special.
yeah.
I just have a high position in what I do.
Yep.
I'm a high steel rigger. I'm in the category of being a good rigger because I do as I was shown by my superiors.
Yeah, the people that trained you, you were an understudy under.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And not only that, a lot of this stuff I was self-taught.
Okay.
A lot of it, watch somebody else do it.
A lot of what you did was learning as you went.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, hands-on experience,
I got 30 plus years experience.
Oh yeah, see, that's great. See, so if you get that hands-on experience, you have that leg up over somebody that might have the book or college knowledge.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So you've got the practical where they may have other things.
Exactly. And the thing is, being who I am, I have access to the best in our industry, like the best people in our industry.
Yeah.
If I ever have a question, I can literally text my best friend, my client, somebody I've known for over 10, 15 years, and ask them a simple question. Because they know that I'm not going to blow their phone up like a crazy ex-girlfriend or anything like that.
Yep.
I have celebrities in my cell phone,
Yep.
And I have those numbers because I only call them when I have to or whenever they need me,
That's because you're a trusted person, so that's why they do that.
I don't call them and be like, "Hey, how you doing? Hey, can I borrow $5?" Or
Yeah.
I don't do that.
Yep.
Everybody knows that I'm a hard worker, and they know that if they need somebody to be the best, they can call me.
Mm-hmm. That's a good thing.
I'm not saying I am the best, but as a rigger, I am a good rigger. I am a very good rigger. I know how to operate the equipment. I know how to set the equipment up. That's what I do.
Yeah. So I notice your voice sounds way better now. How's the clavicle doing, man?
Oh man, it just feels different because I have a lump here now.
Yeah.
Every now and then I'll get some pain in here.
Yeah.
I think I'm still just healing that part of my body.
Yeah.
So I'm doing pretty good actually.
Well, that's great, man. That's great to hear.
I need to grab something to drink real quick.
Go for it, man. You're good. So that's Jimmy Castle, everybody. That's one of the owners of Off the Hook Network and one of my producers. And he stepped aside for a second, guys, to go grab himself a drink. So I'm gonna sit here and wait for him to come back, and I'm just gonna yik yak a little bit, and fill up dead air, basically. He's back. All right.
No dead air. No dead air. We just started so fast, I just forgot to get an extra drink.
Oh yeah, I know what that's like, man. So one of the things I was going to talk about tonight, man, is something that's been on my mind lately, and it's kind of like weird. You know what I'm saying? Like our generation is different than this generation coming up, right? Like one of the things I had a conversation with my son lately, talking about some girl in high school or junior high that he was interested in. I'm like, look, dude, I actually pity you. And he's like, why? And I'm like, because you're going to have to ask a girl a question I never had to ask her. He goes, what's that? Are you biological? Can you physically have kids? You know?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, interesting subject now, right? So, like, the poor
That's
guys
a
out
hard
there now.
subject to talk about, though, without pissing certain people off.
Oh, yeah, I know. But still, I mean.
But we say what the fuck we want on Off the Hook Network.
Exactly, man. If they don't like it, fuck them. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but it's true. With all these things that are going on now in today's society where people can get surgery to merge from male to female or vice versa, right. You might have to ask that question, especially if you're a guy who wants to marry a lady and have
children. The easiest way to do it is let me see your birth certificate.
Yeah. Well, no, because you can get that altered. It turns out you can have that altered in court.
To female?
Yeah.
or
non-binary.
But I don't think they've gotten that far yet. I'd have to see that to.
Well, they're pushing for it big time, but you know what?
I'd have to see that to believe
it. Like I told my son, man, I was like, man, I pity you.
I'm not saying that's something that they can't do.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I don't know. I think I don't think it's possible, but I mean it could be. You never know what these sick bastards are out here doing these days.
Yep. Well, see, and here's another thing, man, that I want people to know about me. I'm not transphobic. I'm not I'm heterosexual. I'm not transphobic or homophobic, right? What you do behind your closed door is your own business. Absolutely. I don't care. As long as find the person you love, who you love, and be with that person. I don't care if they're male or female. Hell, if you want to know the truth, I don't care if it's an inanimate object. If you love a can of friggin' Zippo fluid and you want to marry it, go for it. As long as it makes you happy.
Absolutely.
But no, it's just one of the conversations, as a dad, I had to have with my son. I'm like, look, man, this may happen to you. Not that, unfortunately, it's the way things have gone, man. I mean, when I was younger, I didn't have to worry about none of that nonsense.
Absolutely.
And the reason why I call that nonsense is because I wouldn't have to say, hey, are you genetically a female or what? Because I'd like to have kids. That would be a very messed up conversation for me to have with somebody. And I was like, I feel sorry for him because he may have to, Right.
And you're really going to have to think about what you say in that kind of conversation. Not
exactly.
to take or anything, but here's the picture I was going to show of my dad with John Wayne.
Oh, that's cool. Go ahead, man. Oh, see, that's pretty cool right there. Yeah. And that is actually that's Marion. That's Marion right there. That was his real name.
And then just a little shout out to my dad. My dad's passed away, but I'd like to do a little shout out to him.
Yep.
He's a war hero. Got the Bronze Star awarded for bravery.
Yep.
He's a war hero.
My granddad and my dad both were too, man. So I shout out to both of those guys in heaven. Absolutely. What's up, granddad? What's up, dad?
Absolutely. Thank you
for your seat from me, motherfuckers. I'll be up there eventually.
Thank you for your service.
Yeah, always, man. Yeah, my granddad was a World War II veteran. He was a medic in World War II, and he, strangely, man, he actually was put up for the Medal of Honor, but he told his general don't because he didn't want one. His whole deal was as a medic, right? When he was working on people, he was working on a dude that got shot, right? And he ended up taking a bullet in his left arm, right wrist, and totally lost his left thigh, right? From a German machine gun nest. And He said another medic had ran up to him and said, "Hey, look, dude, you need to stop working on this guy. You know, you're pretty bad." And my granddad explained to me that he said he took a look at himself real fast, said, "Nothing I have is fatal. I'll live." Because the guy in front of him on the ground, he said, "If I don't do something, he's dead." You know, so they went to put him up for a CMA for that, and he turned it down. He said he didn't want it. When he found out they were going to put him up for a Congressional Medal of Honor, he actually told the dude that was going to recommend him, "Don't recommend me. I don't want it." So, was that you dinging or me dinging?
That was you.
Yep, that's all good. What happened?
Yeah, that's you. That's not me.
Yep, that's me dinging. All right. So yeah,
my speech about this subject is, I seen it coming from a young age. Being from San Francisco, being from the Bay Area, I seen it coming at a young age. A lot of guys that I grew up with, I never expected them to be gay. And
I
grew up with.
Yeah.
I grew up with.
One of my closest
is like a girl now, and this dude's like 6'4", played basketball, his first name is Andre. I'm not going to say his last name.
Yeah.
And when I was younger, I got in some trouble, and I escaped from juvenile hall and ran from the ranch and stuff like that. And I ended up in San Francisco every time. And I had friends in San Francisco, some of them gay, some of them straight.
What ranch was this? Was it in Nevada City?
No, it was in Richmond.
Okay.
I wasn't gay, but I knew people that were. And I know some guys that had a business in San Francisco. They were making millions of dollars. And they moved to Thailand so that they could be gay.
Yeah, so they can get away from all the nonsense here in America because they were so badly persecuted. Right. Oh yeah, like
they sold their business. They sold their business and went to Thailand. They owned a travel agency in San Francisco, which makes millions of dollars.
Yep.
And now the business sold from the company that bought, from the people that bought it from them when they moved out of San Francisco. They sold that company for over $20 million to the biggest buyer.
Wow. So like, speaking of gay things, man, when I lived in, I used to live in Topeka, Kansas. Okay. And I had two of my friends, they moved because I actually had a duplex. It was an over-under that I owned. And the two dudes that lived upstairs above me was a gay couple, Chris and Charlie, right? And this stupid church called, what the heck is the name of that church, man? This dumb, hateful church that has a slogan, "God hates America," ran by some dude by the name of Fred Phelps, right? Westboro Baptist Church was what they were called. Decided to come protest my house because I had people living above me that were really involved in the community, right? The gay pride community. And so they were actually downstairs in my apartment. We were actually getting ready to have a barbecue in the backyard because we always hung out because they was good people, man. And these idiots started protesting on my front lawn. Literally, my front lawn, like the chunk of sidewalk that actually was on my property.
That's something I wouldn't be able to deal with.
What, being protested on?
Well, protesting somebody because of their choices.
Yeah, no.
I'm pro-choice.
So check this out, man. So these idiots who apparently are also civil rights lawyers and shit like that were standing on my land, right? Because the sidewalk that was installed, I put in physically myself, right? I cut the grass, laid the cement and everything. And
so the city has no control over it.
Yeah, no, none. So they thought it was city property. So they were standing on my sidewalk protesting me. And I had just installed a concrete wheelchair ramp because I had a girlfriend that was in a wheelchair. Because she had had surgery on her leg. So she was required to be in a wheelchair. So I just installed a concrete ramp. Well, we were all getting ready to head out back to the backyard to have a barbecue, and these fools show up, hop out of his van, and start holding up all these signs, man. Like, I'm not going to say what they said, but some of them were pretty horrible, and extremely derogatory and offensive. Now, me being a minister's kid, right? I was like, "Oh, dude, this is wrong, man. You're judging people. You can't do that."
Right.
But to make a long story short, I stepped outside on my front porch and I said, "Hey, look, if you guys don't get off my land, I'm going to introduce you to two of my closest friends, Smith and Wesson." Right? That was my friends' last names. Okay. They called the cops and said I threatened them with a firearm. And when the cops got there, they're like, they knocked on my door and said, "Yeah, you threatened him with Smith and Wesson." I'm like, "Yeah. Yo, Chris, come here for a second." All right. So Chris, my friend, and his husband basically stepped out, and I'm like, "Well, here's my friends. This is, Chris Smith and, his buddy Wesson." I was like, "This is Smith and Wesson. These are the people these idiots are protesting against that live in my house." I was like, "Officer, could you do me a favor, man? Can you get them off my property?" They're like, "Oh, no, this is public property. It's a sidewalk. It's an easement." And the cop steps back outside, looks at the sidewalk, and goes, "That's funny. That concrete strip only goes to the end of each of his property line." Right? And he goes, "There's no right of way here." He goes, "How long ago was this sidewalk put in?" I'm like, "I put it in 2 months ago, man. It's brand new." Right? Because it went from basically slightly down a hill into the alley, which, my garage was in the back and you could walk down the alley to the front of the house where I had the wheelchair ramp. Well, the main reason why I put that in is for the wheelchair access.
Right.
Because it was before that was steps there. And, I was like, it's part of the wheelchair access for my girl, man. And yeah, the cops go, "Well, you guys are trespassing and he's already said, get off my land." And they tried to argue with the cop and they all ended up with tickets.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
And that was the last time I saw them, man. And then Chris, my friend, Chris Smith, got so pissed off, man. He got a hold of like 40 of his friends. And we're like, "Okay, they want to protest our house. Let's go protest theirs." So we stood outside their building with picket signs of our own on a public sidewalk.
Yeah, I've had to do some stuff too. I talked about that last night on the show last night. But my opinion about the whole gay thing is it's freedom of choice, man.
Exactly.
If you want to be gay, be gay.
Yeah. Hey, man, where I come from back in my day, right? Because I don't know how much older you are than me, man. I'm 43, but back in my day,
I'm
gay.
51.
Oh, well, see, yeah, you're older than me. Gay meant happy when I was a kid, right? It didn't have a derogatory term to it. That's what it meant. Happy.
It meant that for a long time, and then
then they started making it a derogatory word.
It was back when the gay parade started is when they started making it derogatory.
Yep.
My thing though is you can't force the public to accept you for being gay because freedom of choice works both ways.
Yep.
I got friends, man. If you want to go suck a dick after work, go suck a dick after work. If that's what makes you feel good, go do it.
And happy, yeah, go. I'm all for it, man. Go do what. Go do you, man.
Don't when you come on to me and I say, "Hey, look, I'm straight, man."
Leave it at that.
If I say I'm straight, man, it means I'm straight. Just because I'm hanging out with you as a friend doesn't mean I want you to come on to me.
So, man, so you want to hear how interesting I am, man? So I had a friend of mine who belongs to an organization in Chico, and I'm not going to mention the organization, but I'll mention this person's stage name. Midge was her stage name. Cross-dresser, right? Talked me into one time, Dave here, me, the heterosexual man, to dress up in drag. Okay. Now, mind you, I did it and I looked like my mom, which horrified me. But I dressed up in drag, right? And they gave me a set of high heels to put on. Dude, after 10 minutes, I couldn't wear them. They fucking hurt. How females could do that? No fucking clue.
I never stepped in a pair of heels.
Oh, man, dude, after 10 minutes, my feet were hurting so bad.
I've had friends ask me if I wanted to dress up as a female.
I did it for charity.
Halloween.
Yeah,
like,
I
yeah.
did it. I did it one time for charity at a bar in Chico called Lucky's. Okay, which was like a watering hole for a micmash of gay and straight people.
Right.
Well, this champion lacrosse team had come in, all females, right? I ended up getting more play in drag, right, from these girls than I did like this. You know what I'm saying? It was funny as hell. And then here's the even funnier part. I didn't shave when I was in drag, right? So a gay friend of mine who was at the club who showed up and he goes, "Hey man," he goes, "You're cool, Sam. I never thought you'd ever do this." I was like, "Dude, I was told it's for charity, and my boy Midge was supposed to do it too, and he didn't. Fucker left me hanging in the wind." But it was all for charity. It was for an animal shelter. So all the money that I helped bring into the bar as what they called an entertainer actually went to an animal shelter, which I thought was really cool. And I think I brought in like $180,000 that night just for me being there and interacting with people and then, getting them to buy drinks at a certain price. And then, half some of that money went to the bar, the cover charge, and then other fees went to the animal shelter. Right. So, but it was funny, dude, because I sat there and I asked the chick, I'm like, what's the difference between me like this and me outside of this? And they're like, because you're confident enough as a man to dress like this and be okay. And it was the confidence that drew them in. I'm like, ain't that a bitch? If that was the trick the whole time, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, I ended up getting a hell of a lot of attention from the ladies that night, which I thought was funny. But my friend thought it was cool because I didn't shave because I didn't have all this. I just had a goatee. He goes, "Dude, you're gender fucked." And I'm like, "Okay, that's cool, whatever that means." But yeah, no, I actually dressed up in drag one time, man. It was actually quite funny.
Yeah, the closest thing to me dressing up in drag is I'm a clamper.
Yeah.
I'm part of ECV.
Yeah.
So the first thing they made me do was they didn't make me do it. I did it on my own. Is put a cape on, pink cape, and I just walked around with this pink cape on and a fucking Burger King crown on. And, I talk with a British accent. Yeah,
That's kind of funny.
welcome to the tea party.
So you're a clamper. So do you still follow the tradition of rocking tin? And let me explain what this means to anybody who's not a clamper and doesn't know what that means. They would actually take tin, like tin can lids, and they would cut them up and make like little badges and pins out of them, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Do you still do that as a clamper, or
I
is
haven't
that an older tradition they don't do anymore?
I haven't seen it in a while, but I have seen it. So I don't know if they do it still, but I do know a few people have badges that were made out of tin cans.
Yeah, it's called rocking your tin.
Yeah.
And I guess from what I understand is originally they were actually the bottoms because back in the day, beer cans, actually had like little pull tabs on them and they were tin cans and the bottom of them were flat and not concave like cans are now, right? So, and that's what I was told by an old clamper, that's where they would get their tin from. They'd finish their beer and they'd cut it off, cut the bottom out of it, and then they would make decorations out of it and then pin it to a vest they wore.
Yeah.
An ECV vest, which means Eclampus vitus, which I found out doesn't really mean anything. It's just a made up word. And I was like, well, that sounds Latin. It's got to mean something.
Well, ECV stands for Eat Clean Vagina.
Yeah, there it is. Eclampus vitus. Yep. Now, do they have clampers in Mississippi?
There's a couple of us here.
Okay. So they have come from the west to east?
There's 3 of us here that I know.
Okay.
And then there's a few in Texas.
Yep. So the clamper love is starting to spread from the west to the east.
Well, it started supposedly in China.
Really?
Yeah.
See, because I was told it was like a group of miners that actually started it. So it actually came from China.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool.
Huh. So they say. But
Maybe
So,
the mixture of the 49ers and the Chinese created the group.
well, there's a clamper named One Hung Low.
One, yeah, I bet. One hung low. Don Juan Delanucci. You know.
But Emperor Norton, I just saw a movie about Emperor Norton, and I can't remember it for the life of me. But I'm gonna lay down and watch everything I've watched again till I find it. I would definitely like to show this to some clampers because they would probably actually appreciate it. Because when I saw it, I actually appreciated it. I was like, oh my God, this is a real thing.
That's just fucking cool.
It's not just some of our shenanigans.
Yeah.
But it also talked about Wyatt Earp, and I know what movie it is now. The Face of a Killer.
Okay.
It talks about serial killers. Not a Face of a Killer. Hold on a minute. It talks about historical serial killers is what it's called. That's it.
Okay.
And it portrays all the gunslingers as murderers, serial killers.
Okay.
I found the concept kind of, okay, but you have to look at it from the historical part of life.
Yeah.
I mean, there's been serial killers on the loose for many, many years.
I have an opinion on serial killers that people think I'm twisted over. Mind you, I'm a former firefighter paramedic, so I kind of got dark humor. So, like, somebody goes, well, what do you think about a serial killer? And you know what my answer to that actually was? Nature's way of thinning the herd.
Absolutely.
That's what I said, man.
Absolutely. I've had a couple of murders happen in my family.
Oh, yeah, so have I.
The guy that murdered my grandmother, he's not a serial killer, but he doesn't deserve to be free.
Yeah.
He murdered my aunt and my grandmother.
Wow.
The guy claims that my grandmother attacked him with a knife. My grandmother would have attacked him with a knife. She would have called the police on him. That's how she was. Man. That's how she was. She was a Christian.
Yeah. Turn the other cheek.
When I was growing up, it was against God's wishes to murder.
It still is.
Right.
Yeah.
And I went to church and stuff like that. I'm not a Christian. I'm spiritual, but I'm not. I don't belong to a church.
Yeah.
I don't believe in churches.
You have faith. You don't follow one.
Absolutely.
That's what I tell people. I have faith. I don't follow one specific path.
And that's my choice.
Yes.
I don't feel like I've done anything to where I'm going to go to hell for what I've done. When I die, I'm going to die satisfied knowing that I lived my life
to the fullest you possibly could.
I've had a lot of time in my hands where I've thought about death. Like I've thought about how is it going to happen? How does death happen? When it happens to somebody, does it just happen? Or
sometimes it does fast. Sometimes it's a process. It very well depends.
When we're fed certain types of drugs medically, you go to bed and you have a dream about something weird, and you wake up and you're like, "Oh my God, I just had a weird dream."
Yeah.
And you find out it was the medication you took.
Yeah, that messed up your thoughts and everything.
I don't take medication.
Yeah.
And I've had dreams like that.
Well, I have to.
But then after that dream has happened, I realized that there was something wrong with me. Like I felt sick or my body was trying to tell me there was something wrong.
Yep. Your subconscious telling you something's going on with yourself.
So I believe that like when you have like a spiritual encounter with death, this happens. This type of stuff happens. Like you have a weird dream and then all of a sudden you could die.
I've experienced real close to being dead, to the point where I had to be medically brought back, by medical intervention had to bring me back. And the one thing I can remember from that is before I blacked out, I remember my body was shaking, right? Because a friend of mine, now this is going to get kind of religious a little bit here, but a friend of mine said my body was fighting to stay here and wasn't wanting to go yet. That's what the shaking was before I, you know, blacked out.
Yeah, that's
And
uh, my
they said
godfather. Hold on, real quick. I'm gonna bring that to light. My godfather, when he passed away, I got a phone call from his wife saying, "Hey, Doc's on the table. He's about to be gone." I stopped everything I was doing. I got a ride down there. I went straight to the hospital. When I got to the hospital, I went in and I saw him, and he was reaching up to me, like, "Hey,
come here.
help me! I'm falling."
Yeah.
Like that's what he looked like, but he was shaking too.
Yeah. That's what happened to me, man.
It freaked me out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I knew what he didn't want to go yet.
Yeah.
I knew he didn't want to go yet.
Yep.
But he had no choice. It was his time.
Someone asked me, did I see anything on the, when that happened? Not really. Um,
Everything went black.
Kind of, yeah. But I felt something was there that I couldn't see physically, right?
Right.
Because my friend of mine who was, a religious person said, that's because you hadn't crossed over that plane from our existence into the next one yet. So I was able to feel that presence because I was that close, right? And then medically they brought me back. And what ended up taking me to that point was an infection.
Right.
I ended up, I got injured as a firefighter. And I ended up with a secondary infection that was ravaging my body. It was in my blood.
Right.
And it was killing me. My liver was shutting down. My kidneys had shut down.
Do you know where you contracted it from?
Yeah, it was actually from the surgery to fix the damage from my injury.
Oh, okay.
And within 18 hours, I was almost dead. I mean, it was that bad. I had a staph infection, a really nasty one too, that almost killed me. I mean, they had to pump me through with 7 different antibiotics to keep me alive, literally.
Holy shit.
Yeah. I think I was on Zofran, vancomycin. I was on a liquid form of Z-Pak. When I came back, they had me isolated in a special room because what they did killed my immune system. Literally. They had
the worst thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah, hang on. They had to kill my immune system to kill the infection in order to save my life.
Absolutely. And that's how it's always going to work with that type of an infection.
Yeah.
So I had a hernia, and I went to the doctor, and they were like, "Yeah, you got a hernia. We got to do surgery, blah, blah, blah." So I'm like, okay, I signed the paperwork. I go do the surgery. And they tell me, if you want to go to work, you can go to work, but we recommend that you do not go to work, that you just go home and go to bed and get some rest.
Yeah.
We recommend that you do that till your scar heals. So I'm like, okay, well, but I can go to work, right? If I need to go to work, I can go to work, right? Because I got to pay bills.
Yeah, they say you're supposed to be down for up to 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
3 months.
So I go to work, and I'm working, and for some reason, it got infected. I think it got infected because I didn't lay down long enough for it to heal enough for me to at least get up and go to work, because the when I moved, the wound stayed open.
Oh, ouch!
So it didn't get infected by debris. It got infected by itself.
Yeah.
And when your blood is coagulating, basically what it is doing is it's rotting.
Yeah.
They don't say that, but it's like a piece of meat. If you leave a piece of meat out, it dries up and turns into a big scab.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Yep.
So it got infected, and I had to go to the hospital the next day.
Yeah.
Now, the fire department, I lived on the top floor of the apartment complex.
Oh.
And this wasn't a small, this was like 16 stories high.
Technically considered a high rise.
Right.
Yeah.
So they had to go all the way up to the 16th floor and put me in this chair. And I was in so much fucking pain. Oh my God. It felt like my insides were falling out of this little hole I had in my side. They had to carry me all the way. I was apologizing all the way down the stairs because they had to carry me down the stairs. They couldn't take me in the elevator. They
had to take you in a special medical chair, huh? And walk you down the stairs.
And I swear to God, for like 2 weeks, I felt like I wasn't even here.
Yeah.
Because my whole body was infected. Like I had an infection going through my whole body, my blood system, my stream.
And then pain is undescribably, there's no words you can actually put on that pain. But it's a type of pain where even if somebody goes like this to you, you want to punch them in their face.
It actually felt like my whole guts were being pulled out. Every time I had to change this gauze, we had to pull it off. Like we had to peel it off, change it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
It felt like every time my guts were being pulled out of my stomach.
So I had to have something on me because what happened is after my surgery, they stapled me shut, right?
Yeah.
Well, when they couldn't re-staple me shut and they had to reopen me up to clean all the, the infection tissue out and then get my blood under control, man. So they had to use something called a Montgomery strap, which was this thing that was literally sutured on each side of the wound that had these laces, like a frickin' pair of shoes. Like, you lace your shoes up, man.
Right.
And it was called a Montgomery strap. And they actually had to use that to close my wound. But they had to, take, these gauze strips that were, literally soaked in saline and literally pack them into my wound.
That's what they did to me.
And every time they did that, man, I wanted to slug someone. I literally, man, I had a friend of mine that ran a horse ranch. Cut a chunk of saddle leather, get it wet, roll it in a circle, tie twine around it so I can bite down on that shit. It hurt so bad.
My wife did it. You know what she did? My wife did it. You know what she did?
What was that?
She cleaned it with saline.
Yeah, that's what they have to do.
Until it loosened up the scabs and stuff, and then she just pulled it.
They have to use you use a saline and then what they call a medical sponge to what they call debrief the wound, right? To get all the dead stuff out of your wounds. So they had to do that to me. I think 3 times a day for 3 months.
Oh yeah,
until that shit healed.
It wasn't just once a day. No. Yeah,
dude. What sucked, man, is every 8 hours, so I could be dead asleep, right out, just sleeping good, and all of a sudden, wake up that way. It's horrible, man.
Yeah,
it's not a fun way.
We got to change this. We got to change.
Yeah. Or me actually cussing at the nurses because I was bedridden, right? So every 3 hours I had to come in and stick me in the legs with a freaking needle.
I was bedridden for a week.
Oh man, mine was 3 weeks, man, almost a month. They had to keep coming in and stabbing me with a needle to keep me from getting blood clots in my leg, right? Well, after about a week of that, I finally went off on the nurses. I was like, look,
I might have been in the hospital for a couple of weeks. I don't know. I was be pumped up.
Man, when they kept stabbing me in my leg, dude, it was bad enough that I was getting, these wounds debriefed. I kept getting poked, right? And I was like, look, ladies, I'm not your fucking pincushion. Stop stabbing me,
Yeah.
Because, some of these nurses, they weren't nice. It wasn't just bloop. It was dink, bloop. I'm like, you bitch, that hurts.
Imagine this. All of a sudden, you want to be a female. And you go get your dick cut off.
Yeah, no, thank you.
And it gets infected.
Ouch. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, think about it.
Did that happen to you?
Guys out here, they want to be chicks. Because they want to trick dudes into having sex with them. Or they want to trick dudes. See, there's a psychological situation going on here. Like, why do you want to look and be like a real female? What
See,
is
the psychological
tricking males or tricking somebody into believing that you're a fucking female?
So the psychological condition they actually have branded to that thing, right? It's called body dysphoria. It's basically gender identity issues. Okay, that's what it's called, and that's what it is. And there's a lot of people that are trans that actually have to get treated for that, right?
Right.
I knew a dude, man, who was gay, who went through the process of actually becoming a woman, and then like a year later killed himself. And he was a really good friend of mine, and it was sad to lose him as a friend. I mean, a really good friend of mine, to the point where when I first met him, believe it or not, I was homophobic, man. Right? And we had been friends in junior high and high school, and we were roommates. And how I found out he was gay was I did the deed with my lady. I heard him in the next room doing his deed. I come out with a towel wrapped around my waist to get something to drink from the fridge. My girl's got my robe on. He comes out of his bedroom with a towel around his waist, followed by another dude. Talk about rude awakening. Talk about being forced to deal with your fears, right? My whole thing, when I saw that, I was like, whoa, what the? Oh, that's why you never told me, man. I was like, dig it, dude. I don't care that you're gay. As long as you keep it behind your bedroom door, we're good. I was like, please do me a favor, man. We share the same house. Don't let me walk in on you guys in the living room or in the kitchen or somewhere. And if you do, please don't tell me about it,
Absolutely.
And I'll have the same respect for you, man.
Absolutely.
Nah, man. So, yeah, he ended up getting plastic surgery to transform himself into a woman. For like the first 6 months, he was like happy as hell, man. Jimmy likes chicks with dicks.
Charlie likes dudes with tits.
Yeah.
I like chicks with dicks. And
it ain't a chick with a dick, man. It's a dude with tits, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Get your ass up here. Come on. Get up here.
He's too busy fucking.
He ain't that busy. He can stop in for the last 3 minutes of the show.
He's busy working the glory hole. We might go into overtime if you got time.
Oh no, dude, I'm good, man. So but no, the funny thing is
yeah, well, you're watching, asshole.
Yeah. Well, at least I got one fan. So the funny thing was, man, is that girls used to hate him on the road. Yeah, I bet you are. Yeah. On the road to head, huh? He's giving roadhead to truckers. You know that, right?
I told him to go out and get 2 blowjobs, and when he gets home, he can give me one.
He's a lot lizard right on the side.
Right.
He serves this special clientele.
He makes a great cross-dresser, though.
Yeah, I bet he does.
Wig on in a fucking video, bent over, getting plowed by some guy. It was great. Was that literally do anything for money?
Was that on Off the Hook TV that he did that? Yeah. Okay, I've seen that one then. And believe it or not, he's an ugly motherfucker.
Yeah, he's an ugly woman too.
Yeah, for real. But he's still a bitch. But so he needs to get on here and talk shit back. Come on, motherfucker. We're sitting here talking all sorts of trash.
Why are you talking shit in the fucking forum?
Jimmy loves a double fist. Yeah, but Telly, you and Nemesis, you invented that shit, man.
He likes getting dildos shot at his butt.
Yeah, I saw that. Play the video.
You have the video, sir. Why don't you come on and play the video?
Yeah, we don't want to get a copyright strike.
TSA, she touched me, or it touched me. I don't know. But...
Are you talking about the rocket launch dildo up the ass?
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, I had a female friend of mine one time living in Kansas City. The
You
lady
wanna
lived across.
hold on, you want to know something funny? So I used to have I used to own a sex shop, and I had a garage full of dildos. I had everything you could think of. I had women's clothes in there. I had all kinds of shit. I was just the owner for a short period of time, but the girl I was dating, she was the owner for the longest time. Okay. Uh, so basically, I agreed to help her get out of her tax debt.
Okay.
So by doing so, I had to help her sell everything. So we moved in together, and my garage was filled with dildos. You couldn't turn around without finding a dildo. We had shoes, we had all kinds of clothes. We had bath salts, we had all kinds of shit.
Yeah.
Anyways, so Telly would come over and he would want to see my dildo collection. And he was really upset about the mantle, the piece that was over the mantle of my wall.
Oh yeah. How much for the big checkered one?
Yeah.
No, dude, that's my thermos.
So the girl I was dating at the time had my dick molded and mounted on the mantle at the house. And basically she did that to be like, to all the girls, this is my dick.
Yeah.
So Telly always gives me shit about that.
Funniest thing that ever happened to me.
He called me the dildo king. Look at this.
Yeah.
Look at
The
this.
dildo king. Yeah.
What
So,
about he calls me Jimmy Dildo Fingers?
Oh, so the funniest thing that ever happened to me, man, I was working at the fire department. Okay. I'm not going to say what city or where. But we had a female that worked with us who was a lesbian. And one day she decided to play a prank on me, man. And I come out of the shower and she's got this 26-inch strap on that hung down to her knee. And she started chasing after me wearing this fucking thing inside the firehouse, right? I'm sitting there doing laps around this fire apparatus to get away from this chick, right? And she's like, no, come here, man. It wants some of your big mushy butt. And I'm like, fuck that, man.
I mean, I still got shit.
Yeah.
I don't know where the shit comes from. It's not mine. I swear to God.
You need to stop, yeah, man. You need to stop messing around with the freaks that leave that shit at your house as souvenirs.
Dude, I find panties in my couch. Like,
man, it's because you be messing around with them girls, man.
I find them under my fucking mattress. I'm like, where the fuck are these coming from? Like, I'm not even having sex.
But that was funny, dude. Having this
myself. Is somebody coming into my house and masturbating in my bed while I'm at work?
Maybe.
What the fuck's going on here?
Maybe somebody has a key to your house you don't know about.
I don't know. I found this in the drawer. Like, I don't have dildos. I get those.
How long has it been since you had a woman living in your house there, man?
I had a few living here.
Well, maybe it's something you forgot about because you forgot to check your sock drawer.
I had too many chicks living in this house.
That's the problem, man.
But I live here by myself now, which is great because it's quiet. I don't have to worry about somebody coming home with the COVID.
Yep. Coming home with a coup flu and giving it to you as a gift. Yeah.
My dog's always happy to see me. She pees all over the floor.
Typical dog thing, man. Speaking of dogs, I've been going through a rough patch lately. My companion dog, medical companion dog, I should say, because I have PTSD, passed away. And that fucking sucked, man. Because I used to get panic attacks so bad that I would literally pass out, right? So his job was to actually guard me during that time. and he used to wear a little special vest, right? Because he was a smaller dog. Yeah. Just be glad they're not edible, man.
Yeah, those would not taste very well.
No, it tastes like ball sweat and regret.
I think it's gonna taste more than ball. I think you're gonna taste more than ball sweat.
I bet. No, thank
Let's
you.
just say 2 girls, 1 cup, but it would be 2 girls, 1 pair of edible panties
Oh yeah, I'm good.
from Telly Blackwood.
You know what he should do? He should dress up as a sumo wrestler for Halloween. That would be fucking funny.
Edible panties on.
Yeah.
1 fart and he'd blow the string right out between them fucking gummies.
Yeah, a shark and he'd end up melting them.
Melted edible panties. Never seen it, but I'm sure it would happen.
Yeah. Come on, Telly, you got speakerphone. You're gonna hop up here of just audio. Dancing my poor at. Oh, great. Ew, a mankey. No, thank you. That's an image I don't want in my head. Deleted.
So yeah. So anyways, I had all these dildos around my house. And Telly would always be the one to come over and be like, "Hey, let me see your dildo collection."
Let me guess. He was the one that went after the bad dragon.
If it wasn't right, if it wasn't dildos, it was fucking tons of weed.
Yeah. One of those two.
Yeah, it was either a bunch of dildos or a bunch of weed.
You know what we need to buy him? We need to buy him a phallus bong. A bong shaped like a big cock, so that way he can get both the same hit.
Yeah, exactly.
He can suck that glass dick and smoke his weed.
Well, when I met Telly, I had a buddy of mine staying with me, and we were growing weed together. Remember this, Telly? Dude, I had weed plants from one side of my backyard to the other side of my backyard.
Oh, yeah.
I lived in a 3-bedroom house. We had every room except for 2 rooms filled with weed, including the garage. Dude, I fucking swear to God, we had weed butter, we had edibles, we had weed, we had hash oil, we had fucking live resin.
Bubble hash?
We had it fucking all.
Yep.
And it was great. Until he started getting greedy with the shit and being like, "Oh, this is my shit." You want me to grow your weed? I get 25% of your weed. Blah blah blah. And
that's a stoner, man.
Then it was, I get half of your shit. And then, the weed's so good, you should only get 10%. At that point, I was like, bro, just pack your shit and get the fuck out.
What, Telly?
Yeah.
He lived with you?
No, I'm kidding. No.
Oh,
no, I had somebody else. He lived across the street from me.
Oh, okay.
He'd always come over and be like, "Man, somebody around here is growing weed."
Yeah, I bet.
I can smell it. It's all over the house.
Oh, dude, check this out, man. I get that smell all the fucking time. My neighbor's got a half acre behind his house. Literally. And I keep telling my kid, "Hey, don't hop up on that fence and look over on the other side, man. That's none of your business."
So we had it set up. We had the one of our tents was blowing 4 fans. We had 4 fans blowing through our
greenhouse
our filtration system.
Yeah,
and we filtered through coal and fiber.
Yeah.
But the weed was so good that the smell, it didn't matter. You couldn't stop the smell.
Oh yeah, man. It's so my neighbor's shit is so fucking potent. I can have my windows closed and still smell it. Like I can smell it right now where I'm sitting at.
But I love weed. I've smoked weed my whole life. I've been smoking since I was 8 years old.
Unfortunately, I can't do it no more because of let's see, this medication right here, which I have to take for my diabetes,
Yeah.
right here, I can't smoke and do that at the same time. It can actually kill me.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I had to give up. After I retired as a firefighter to help me with pain, I toked out. Right.
My
And
cousin has diabetes, but he also had a something wrong with him as far as like when he touched stuff. Fiber, I think it's fibromyalgia.
no, it's neuropathy.
Neuropathy, that's it.
Yeah, where you lose nerve sensation
Yes,
in
yes,
your hands and feet and your
absolutely.
legs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my cousin had that stuff, and he smokes marijuana, and he started ingesting marijuana,
Yeah.
and for about 4 years, he was diagnosed with this neuropathy. Um, I never believed him until recently. I started having it.
Yeah.
And it's where you lose the feeling in your fingertips and your toes. And
See, mine, I've got to be careful with sometimes because, mine is not the typical neuropathy. Mine does affect my nerves, but I could, it's my symptoms kind of seem like Parkinson's sometimes, dude. Where I will grab something, and all of a sudden it just starts shaking like this, and it's my nerves, right?
right,
I can still grasp and shit, but I'll end up shaking the shit out of something and then end up dropping it to stop myself from shaking. Um, and my doctor said that's a sign, it's part of my diabetes, right?
right.
And it scares the shit out of me, because every once in a while,
Well, he started ingesting marijuana and he's cured.
yeah, well, THC, or the cannabinoids, it's not THC, it's CBD.
CBD.
The CBD is what's actually good for you.
Yeah.
And that's the cannabinoids in cannabis, CBD. I have a friend of mine's dad, man, who suffers from I can't remember the medical condition, man, but I remember for the longest time he couldn't eat, he couldn't walk, right, from this medical condition he had, and he was constantly shaking. And for like a decade, he was fed through a tube that went down his mouth, right? Oh, excuse me, up his nose and down his throat, into his stomach. And then one day, man, I mean, he couldn't talk. He'd just sit there and just shake like this, right? Gone, you know. And one day, man, a friend of mine came over, took a look at his dad, and goes, "Hey, man, here, I want to give him some of this." My friend's like, "What is it?" And he goes, "It's concentrated CBD oil." He goes, "Will it hurt him?" He goes, "Nah, the worst thing that's going to happen, he'll fall asleep."
Right.
So he gives his dad like five milligrams of this, basically almost looked like tar heroin. Almost, it was like a dark brown, but it was almost like a liquid gel.
That's live resin.
Yeah, and CBD, you know, was high concentration CBD. He put it in the corner of the dude's mouth and injected it, and literally, you can watch him go from this almost vegetable type state where he couldn't talk, couldn't get up, couldn't do anything but sit there and shake, to waking up right out of whatever illness he was in. He actually sat up on the couch he was laying on and spoke. And it had been like almost a decade, right?
Yeah.
First words out of his mouth, "Can I have a steak?" First words out of his mouth, man, "Can I have a steak?" And me and my friend are sitting there watching this his dad. We watched him fade away into this, and they said, "Hey, man, this thing's going to kill him." To all of a sudden, he sat up in the chair, and plain as could be, like he'd been speaking to us for like a decade. "Can I have a steak?" We're like, "Whoa!" Not only he's not taking, he's no longer shaking. He sat up and he just spoke.
Right.
We were sitting there in shock.
That's cool.
And this guy was actually a doctor, okay, who had lost his license back here in California for promoting CBD, right?
Yeah.
So hang on one second. I'm still live. Yes. Sorry about that. My wife was asking me a question.
No problem.
Sorry about that, folks. You know, I have a family. But yeah, man. So he was a doctor who lost his practice for giving people CBD before it was legal in California.
Yeah. Well, you know what was pretty cool about so being from the band and growing up around a lot of people.
Your mic just got quiet.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now I can. You got to lean a little bit closer.
So growing up in California and growing up where I did, we knew a lot of people. When I was a child, we used to have medical, and my parents had money and shit, and we had stuff.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid, we had the finest doctors in the Bay Area that looked at us because our parents had money. We knew people. So when marijuana became legal in California, we were amongst the first people to be able to get medical marijuana. But like I said, I've been smoking weed since I was 8 years old. My parents were hippies. They knew a lot of people. My mom was an engineer. My dad was a cop. My stepdad was an author. So we had things. We weren't always broke. We weren't always rich. We were always doing something different.
Okay.
And that's where I get my abilities from, is I'm always doing something different. So when medical marijuana came out, we were the first. I was the first one in the Bay Area that had wax. I was the first one in the Bay Area that had live resin. Don't ask me how it happened. But my mom told me one day, she's all, back when I was a kid, they used to have this stuff that was like oil. And she goes, if I remember correctly, they used to extract stuff from marijuana using butane.
Yeah. Yep.
So I went out and bought a bunch of butane bottles.
Oh, no.
And I had a shitload of weed. This was in the 90s when nobody even knew what wax was.
See, bubble hash is made with butane.
Yeah, so this doctor that I knew told me if you take butane and you run it through the marijuana into a glass bowl and you wait till the butane wears off, you have smokable extract.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, cool. I'm going to go try this shit at home. Bro, I swear to God, I went and I bought like 20 boxes of fucking butane. And I went over to a friend's house and we sat in his backyard and smoked blunts and butane after butane till the shit came out clear. We'd have this big ass bowl full of fucking extract. And we'd split it. And I'm talking about pounds of extract. Like we ran butane through pounds of marijuana, pounds and pounds and pounds. I had it, he had it. If I didn't have it, he didn't have it because he didn't know how to make it. I had the balls.
Yep.
So I go over to my cousin's house and I'm like, hey, let's smoke some of this shit. They're like, what the fuck is that? I don't smoke crack. I don't do that type of shit. I'm like, motherfucker, you smoke blunts. This is the best shit you'll ever fucking smoke in your life compared to that fucking blunt you're puffing on.
Yep.
My cousin was like, nah, I ain't smoking it. Nah, I ain't smoking it. I hit it. I was high as fuck.
See, a lot of my friends, what they'll do is they'll take that stuff and they'll actually basically smear it inside of their blunt before they put their weed in and wrap it up.
And that's what I showed him.
Took that shit up.
When I showed him that, they were like, okay, let's try it. Let's check it out. You know, if he's smoking it and he ain't getting stupider than stupid, well, I was stupider than stupid. But
Anyway,
you know, I wasn't acting like I was methed out or anything. They'd
No.
smoked some. So I hit that shit. I was high as fuck. The next blunt they rolled, I took a bunch of it. I just smeared it all over the blunt. Rolled that motherfucker up, licked it, sealed it. We smoked that shit, and my cousins were so fucking high. I can't even describe it.
I think Robin Williams actually described what you guys went through.
Yeah.
He was so stoned you could eat kitty litter and go, wow, this is real crunchy.
But I got real famous off of that shit because nobody else had it. I was the only one that had it. Nobody else knew. And then my buddy goes, because he's in the black community. So he goes into his community and starts telling people about this shit.
Uh-oh.
And then those people found out what it was and found out how to make it. And they told somebody. But at the time, it was just me and him.
Yeah.
But at the time, before that, it was just me and my mother. But before that, it was just my mom. And not a lot of people knew. And the doctor also, the doctor that told me about it.
Yeah.
But as soon as I found out about it, that shit fucking hit the streets like wildfire. I was smoking shit that people wanted to get their hands on. They were like, holy shit, I'm so fucking high right now. I don't even feel my face.
You know, the only problem with that, man, is the method it takes to make that. It's extremely dangerous if you don't know what the fuck you're doing.
Very dangerous.
When I was a firefighter paramedic, man, I think in my career, I think I ran into like 50 calls where people tried to make it literally blew themselves up, man.
I'm sure. I'm going to tell you, a couple of times I was doing it, it blew up in my face.
Yeah, it could kill you quick if you're not careful.
The only thing is, I know when explosives happen, I know what to do. Like I've seen batteries explode and shit on people.
Yeah,
but I literally was pumping this motherfucker through. I was deep. I had a
Don't explain the process, man.
I had a pipe. It was about this long, and I was pumping it through. And when that motherfucker blew up, oh my motherfucking god!
Yeah,
it wasn't cool.
Okay, guys. For the people that are going to watch this stream later, probably don't attempt this, please.
At all.
It's highly dangerous. Do not attempt this. You're talking to somebody who's a firefighter paramedic who treated people who literally blew themselves up.
That actually did it.
And then someone who actually survived it. You know, I didn't treat this guy, but yeah. So if you guys watch this,
treated, but I know a lot of people that did need to be treated.
Oh yeah. So if you guys are watching this stream, do me a favor. Don't do what we've done. Don't be stupid. Okay. We all do foolish shit in our younger years that we learn from mistakes. You notice he ain't doing it no more.
Nope.
So, I mean, don't do it, guys. It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
Don't do it, guys. It's not worth the risk.
It's not worth the risk. It's not worth the games that you got to play with people to sell your shit. It's not worth the risk of getting robbed. It's not worth any of that.
Yep. It ain't worth the drama. You know, and even professionals or so-called professionals that actually do this for a living for like the dispensaries and stuff, even they fuck up and blow themselves apart.
Absolutely.
Or burn their houses down, or seriously,
they don't really do it to where they blow up. If it's a regulated laboratory,
yeah,
they're good. They're not.
But I'm just saying there are people out there that
regulated. Don't try that shit at home.
Yeah,
it's not worth it.
No, leave it to the pros who do it scientifically in a lab to do it.
Exactly. It's not worth you looking like a burn victim.
No,
it's not worth trying to wash your eyes out and hopefully you got your sight back.
And here's another thing, folks. If you guys try to do that nowadays, I'm pretty sure after your 8th butane can, government's going to be all over your butt for it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Back in the 90s, it was way different than nowadays, guys.
You don't want to do it with butane.
Nope. You don't want to do it at all now.
Butane isn't the cleanest way to do it.
Nope. I didn't mean to change the subject on you. I just wanted to do a PSA to make sure if there was any people under the age of 18 who might stumble upon this, I don't want them getting some bright ideas.
Right.
You know?
And they shouldn't, because there's a lot cleaner ways to make extract now than using butane.
Yeah. But there's a process, even it's not just butane, guys. With a whole process you have to go through. And we're not going to explain that on this stream, so don't even think so.
Absolutely not.
Nope. Won't do it. But yeah, man. So, yeah, it's been a pretty good stream tonight, man. So we're running an hour and 25 minutes. So how about we cut it off here in the next 4 minutes, man?
Yep, sounds good.
And 1 hour and 30 minutes, man. Dave's going overtime tonight. That's a little bit late anyway, folks. So yeah, man. So always some funny stuff, man, in life, you know. We've touched on a few subjects tonight. Why? We don't give a fuck. Dave really doesn't. I'm not a politically correct person. Never claimed to be. I use words that offend people every day. Do you know why? Because I don't give a fuck about your feelings.
Exactly.
I'm the type of person that if you get butthurt over something I say, oh, I'm sorry. Did I hurt your little feelings?
Yeah, they don't give a fuck about our feelings.
Nope. You know, my whole thing nowadays is fuck your feelings. I don't care about your feelings.
I get offended by the way people drive.
Yeah. Keyword, your, not mine, your. So, grow a spine, grow a backbone.
Absolutely. Grab her by the pussy.
Yeah, thank you. See, I'm the type of person that when I grew up, it was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah.
Now, by the way, when they go to upload this on YouTube, I guarantee you they're going to fucking throw a bitch fit.
Well, they might kick us off for a minute.
Or at least knock my stream off of it. But you know what? Honestly, I don't give a shit about the censors.
Freedom of speech. Freedom of speech.
Exactly. That's what this all is. Freedom of speech.
Exactly. And that's what we practice. That you're not going to take my right to talk away.
Nope. Well, here's the deal. My right of my freedom of speech does not stop where your feelings start. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I don't play that game.
Exactly.
You know, I have a right to say something just like you have a right to something. And in fact, somebody asked me an interesting question. Would you support a KKK member and his racist tirade? You know, like we support you and what you do. And I said, of course I will. And I'll tell you why. I don't support the message. I don't support the person. However, I do support the freedom of his speech. Okay. He has a right to say what he feels, whether I agree with it or not, just like I have a right to say what I feel, whether he agrees with it or not. You know what I'm saying? Somebody actually asked me that, and I'm like, look, I'm a patriot. I'll be blunt. So I have to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's, even the Supreme Court has said even hate speech is considered protected speech, you know, whether you like it or not.
Yep. Well, what people are worried about when it comes to the speech thing is, of course, you got the freedom of speech, but some people don't comprehend what you're saying.
No.
Or they might comprehend it differently.
Yes.
And
I agree with that.
Whether, it could make somebody suicidal.
Yeah. Your words.
Let me tell you something about choice, though.
Yeah.
You have the choice to put that knife to your wrist and cut your wrist. You have the choice to put the gun to your head and pull the trigger. But the problem with that is you have to deal with the repercussions, which is death, which is, whatever is wrong with you. You have to be able to control that. We all have the ability to.
What I tell people about suicide, it's a permanent solution to a temporary problem.
Absolutely.
Okay. Now, Dave, when he was 19, had his lady kill herself in front of him after our child died of SIDS. Okay. She Now, of course, that wasn't a temporary situation. That's kind of permanent. But to make a long story short, folks, the repercussions it leaves behind for the people you love is just as bad as the actual act. I wouldn't recommend that pain on anybody. Hang on, somebody DM'd me.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
So
It's very hard to, I've seen some suicides and stuff, and it hurt me.
yeah.
But
Oh fuck.
some people just do that.
Rob, man, if you can hear me, dude, I'm praying for your mom, brother.
Yeah, I just got the message myself. We're praying for your mom. I hope she gets better. This is
wholeheartedly, brother. Yeah.
This is the second time she's fallen and gotten hurt.
Yeah.
We really hope your mom's doing well.
Well, I didn't want to break that out, but I was just going to say, hey, man,
it's okay. He gets it.
Yeah. So I understand why why I was late tonight, man. Hey, dude, brother, family comes first. Next time, send me a message saying "fuck off," and I'll understand.
Yeah, I wasn't prepared for them to end their show while I was on the phone with my client.
No, you're fine, man. I understand that. I'm not worried about that. We got my show in. You know what I'm saying? It's almost 9 o'clock, so I mean, we're fine.
Most of that money's going back to the network, anyways. So.
Yeah. So, but Rob, I'm gonna write a prayer for your mom, dude, and I'm gonna send it to you. Okay.
And we're gonna end it on that.
Yep. Hey, everybody, this has been Wrangler Dave and the one and only
Castle.
Jimmy Castle. Hey, man, you all come back next Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Pacific, and catch the Wrangler Dave's Trailer Park on Off the Hook Network. Now, on Mondays, we have the Sanitarium with Leatherface. On Tuesdays, who do we have?
On Tuesdays, we have, that would be Tuesday. I'm not sure who is on Tuesday.
Okay, someone's on Tuesday. Just come and see them on the.
It's that fucking Rob Wilds guy and the fucking
wrestling shoot.
Wrestling.
Yeah. Come see Rob Wild on
I don't know why we even put up with that guy's shit. Anyways,
because he's a brother and we all love him. That's why. On Wednesdays we have
2 shows. We have Out Loud podcast, and then we have Out Loud podcast music.
All right.
So
on Thursdays tonight, this is Thursday night, man. We have Purple Sticky and Wrangler Dave's Trailer Park. On Friday, we have Child's Play Ninja. Make sure you check out all of us on the Off the Hook Network or on YouTube, and I think maybe where most streaming podcasts are heard. Everywhere. Yeah, so check us out everywhere, man. Off the Hook Network is the name of the network. You will follow all of our podcasts under that one umbrella, Off the Hook Network. Absolutely. Check us out, guys, and I'm Wrangler Dave, and we are out of here.